So I've actually got some really good news, some really, really good news here, folks. So it actually turns out that, and I had suspected this was going to happen, and it's that Michael Bloomberg is actually no longer viable at that 15% margin for any statewide delegates. Now, you can still get delegates at the congressional district level, but not being viable for statewide delegates is very significant. And then Elizabeth Warren also didn't make, she's not even close to the 15% marker. So Bloomberg has fallen under. There's no way I see him being able to get to that 0.7%. There's 90% reporting in California right now. Bernie Sanders is at 33.6% with a little over a million votes. Joe Biden's at 24.9% with 744,000 votes. So as of right now, that stands at about an 8.7% margin, which is a solid margin. And so basically the way my understanding of these works is essentially if, as you can see, the two top candidates who are over 15 don't add up to 100%. And so, all the delegates end up being fleshed out based on the percentages, right? And as you guys know, California's got 415 delegates. And so if you've got a state with a bigger, delegate count, when you knock out the percentages, it's a big gap, dude, because it's a big state. So you're talking about a lot of delegates, okay? So if Bernie is able to continue his lead, and hopefully his lead keeps going up, let's hope if he can hit a 10% lead, which I think is unlikely, but if he can get to maybe 9, 9.2, 9.5, that would be really sick. But as of right now, they have 155 delegates for Bernie, 93 for Biden, 14 for Bloomberg, and 9 for Warren. Now, as you can tell, that's not the final count because there's 415 delegates total to be allocated. Now, I don't know how the delegate math is going to work out, honestly. But if they're the only two viable, and Bernie Sanders he has almost a 10% lead, dude. That's a big lead. Almost 10%. That's a big lead, right? So if he has almost a 10% lead, and then he's the top person who is at the top of this race, he's going to end up pulling a hell of a lot of delegates. And so Bernie could come out of this with, like 250 delegates, I want to say, dude. And if he comes out of this with 250 plus delegates, it's really awesome. And so I have to say that, I'm a Californian. I cast my ballot for Bernie Sanders. I could not be more proud of my state, and I know that a lot of you guys can't say the same thing because you're in a state that did not vote for Bernie Sanders. I am in a state that gave Bernie Sanders the biggest win. California is going to help Bernie cover so much ground. So much ground is going to be covered because of this California victory. I mean, this sweeps out so many losses in those southern states because a lot of the losses in like Massachusetts and Minnesota, they're delegate differences of like 10 max, 15-ish delegates, maybe 20 delegates. So it wipes out a lot of those. And then also, the sort of beatdowns that he got in some of those southern states, it just completely wipes them out, right? So it's unfortunate that Texas didn't hold. That's really sad. I think that was probably due to voter suppression, people waiting for like 5 hours in lines. People were waiting in lines in California and Texas for 5 hours after the polls were closed. Like, we're closing down polls. They're still waiting there for 5 hours after that. So a lot of voter suppression going on, and that's probably why his victory isn't even bigger in here. Also, Elizabeth Warren, of course, blood-sucking votes off of Bernie Sanders. Very unfortunate stuff, but what are you going to do? All you can do is just be happy that Bloomberg didn't make that 15% marker and that Bernie Sanders is over and he's really at the top, So hopefully that margin continues, and hopefully that margin keeps going up. Well, let's hope that his percentage share keeps going up and his lead keeps going up. Let's hope it doesn't go down. But this could be really good news for Bernie Sanders. It could really save the day. So shout out to California. Shout out to all my fellow Californians who cast your ballot for Bernie Sanders. I got love for you. And we really saved the day here, dude. We saved the day.